Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Let's talk about the newest League of Legends update, patch 26.1, because this one is honestly massive, and it feels like Riot didn't just tweak the game, they straight up reshaped how matches are going to play out from minute one to the final push. The whole vibe of this season is different, and you feel it the second you load onto Summoner's Rift. The Demacia theme isn't just visual flair either, it's part of a bigger push toward structure, momentum, and rewarding players who actually play their role the way it's meant to be played. One of the biggest things you're going to notice right away is how the early game moves faster. Minions spawning earlier might sound small, but it changes everything. Lanes get active sooner, early decisions matter more, and those first couple of minutes don't feel like dead time anymore. Riot clearly wants players interacting earlier instead of waiting around for level 3 before anything happens. On top of that, Baron spawning earlier shifts the entire mid-game clock forward. Teams can't afford to autopilot through the first 20 minutes anymore because objectives start demanding attention much sooner. Turrets are also a completely different conversation now. The new crystalline mechanic adds a layer of risk and reward to pushing that didn't exist before. Attacking turrets isn't just about chipping them down safely anymore, because if you misplay, that burst of true damage can punish you hard. This makes coordinated pushes way more important and discourages sloppy dives or solo siege attempts without proper setup. It also subtly shifts focus back to lane pressure instead of non-stop dragon stacking, which honestly feels refreshing after how objective-heavy the game has been. Another huge system change is the introduction of role-based quests. This is Riot basically saying, play your role and we'll reward you for it. Each role has its own objectives tied to how that lane or position is supposed to function. Junglers are encouraged to path smarter and interact with lanes. Supports are rewarded for vision and protection. Laners benefit from trading and wave control. It's not restrictive, but it gently nudges players toward healthier gameplay patterns, which should reduce some of those frustrating games where someone queues for a role and then ignores what that role actually does. Vision also got more interesting with the new Phalite mechanics. Instead of Vision just being about placing wards in the same old spots, now there are interactive elements on the map that reward smart ward placement with temporary reveals. It adds another layer of map awareness and gives teams more creative options for controlling space, especially around contested objectives. Vision feels more alive instead of just being a checklist task for supports. Itemization saw a big shakeup too, especially with crit. Riot adjusted the baseline crit damage across the board, which means a lot of champions had to be tuned individually to compensate. Some champions gained power inconsistency, others lost a bit of burst, but overall the goal seems to be smoothing out damage spikes so fights feel less random and more skill-driven. ADCs in particular will feel this change, especially early on, where crit builds are less about praying to RNG and more about steady scaling. Several items were adjusted or reworked to fit this new pacing. Armor penetration items like Mortal Reminder got tuning to better align with tank durability. Tier items saw changes that impact mana-hungry champions, and overall builds feel a bit more deliberate. You're not just rushing the same thing every game anymore. There's more incentive to adapt based on what's actually happening in the match. Riot also cleaned house by removing some 2025 mechanics that just didn't land the way they wanted. Systems like Atacon and Blood Roses are gone, along with feats of strength. In their place, we're back to classic rewards like First Blood and First Turret Gold, which honestly feels more intuitive. These are moments every player understands instantly, and they naturally create tension and excitement without needing extra explanation. Game modes and quality of life changes didn't get ignored either. Swift Play received updates to make games smoother and faster. RM balance tweaks aim to reduce extreme swings, and ranked matchmaking adjustments are targeting autofill frustration.